Welcome to week 6, the power of community. I want to thank Reverend Stacy for covering weeks 4 and 5, and she introduced this last of our 3, being, becoming, and belonging. She introduced belonging last week, and today I want to bring it home. Our statement for belonging says, "We create a spiritual home for all people, knowing that we are one body and that we belong to each other." When we were creating these statements, the drafting team, we had gathered information from well over 100 stakeholders at Unity of Houston, key leaders and the staff, volunteers, volunteer leaders, and the board of directors, all these people, and we had created lists of thousands of words that had meaning for us. And then the drafting team, their job, and I was on that team too, our job was to sift it down to just essential statements about who we are and what's important to us. And we came up with our purpose and values. And when I think I was the one that realized as we were there were these things and these, and the 3 categories were being, becoming, and belonging. Of course, I love the alliteration of it. But there's a beautiful path as we've been exploring here, starting with our oneness with God and the fact that we're all already divine and whole, but there's a becoming from our being, that we're becoming more of that we already are. We're revealing it. And then belonging, our whole purpose, we start with that statement, in community, we nurture and empower each other. That's why we're here, so we can create this space of living our oneness as a group of individuals we're going to be one thing. We're going to demonstrate that oneness with each other. Jesus had a very powerful teaching on this, where he said, "Whatsoever you do to the least of these, you've done unto me." And I wonder if if Christianity was really going to get a report card on how well they do that over the last couple of millennia, I don't know it would be a passing grade. Christianity can be one of the most otherizing and judgmental religions out there. You have to follow the right rules and doctrines and theologies, and you have to do them there. Then you're on the in team and you're good, but otherwise you're out. And that's not what Jesus taught or said. He was including all of us. So his teaching about that which you do unto the least of these you've done unto me, that's a statement of oneness. We are one body. We do belong to each other. The way we treat each other matters. And so when I cause harm to another, I harm myself because I am connected to humanity. I am a part of the soul of humanity. When I exclude another, I exclude myself. Through my own judgment, I place myself outside the circle of atonement. That's the language that the Course in Miracles uses to teach this idea that we're all in this circle of atonement at one-ment. And when I judge someone else, I take myself out of the circle. Years ago, John Moore did a workshop on the Course and the pyramid, and I kind of helped him create this exercise where we literally stood in circle holding hands, and then one at a time, we just brought to mind someone who we were having a little struggle with, something they were doing, maybe may have been someone current in our life, and then we would go to another person in the circle and have them represent that person, and then that person would take us out of the circle. And then we would go over here and we'd I don't think we gazed into each other's eyes, something really uncomfortable for many people, until the shift had occurred. Then I could see the divine in that person and who they were representing. And then we came back to the circle. It was really powerful. And to do it in community, one of the things I love about our community at Unity of Houston, and it comes from our philosophy in the New Thought movement, is that we don't exclude. We are an inclusive, non-exclusionary teaching. It makes us really rare in the household of Christianity, that there's not a faith and doctrine test. You don't have to believe everything we tell you that we practice here. You don't have to do those things. That we trust you on your own path. And so this phrase I got from Brene Brown, and I just love it. Sometimes the way she says it, fitting in is the opposite of belonging. For many people, our need to belong causes us to edit ourselves so that we can fit in. But that's not true belonging. True belonging comes when we reveal our authentic self, quirks and all, and then we still make room for each other who are different. And some of us are real different at Unity. I got in trouble a few years ago when I first became senior minister. I got interviewed by the Houston Chronicle, and I made a comment. I was trying to speak to this idea is that we make a lot of room for people to be different. And I think I used the phrase something like, Unity of Houston has always been a safe space for our collection of oddballs, spiritual oddballs. I did not mean anything bad about it at all, but a couple of people in our community was like, why are you calling us oddballs? And I think I really hurt some feelings. I had to make up for that. I don't want to use that language today, but I do want to recognize that we're all different. And the very things that might make us seem oddball or different or unacceptable in some circles, we try to make as much space, as long as the behavior is not rooted in unkindness or violence or against us. Then we make a lot of room so that you get to be who you are. Bring it fully. And it's not always easy. I mean, believe me, I know that I'm not always easy. I sometimes, in my quirkiness and humanness, do things that people are like, why is he doing that again? But I know you love me and you make room for me, and I try to do the same thing for everybody else in our community. I don't mean this to be an anti-Christianity as it's practiced talk today, but it is, many people carry church hurt and religious abuse wounding from more exclusionary churches that they came from, or maybe it's not just Christianity, just other religions. And so we really try to make space not only to welcome you as you are, but also to heal that. And there's a phrase I heard in an interview years ago, I've sometimes said it on Sunday mornings, that when someone meets a minister, this actually came from a Unitarian minister, she said on a plane, somebody would say, what do you do? I'm a minister. And they said, oh, I don't believe in God. And her response was so beautiful. Tell me about this God you don't believe in, because I bet I don't believe in him either. We trust you to find your own relationship with the divine, and it's going to be you. It's going to be yours. This Pride Sunday this past summer, this phrase kind of came, I made a statement to the effect of, no religion that excludes can be truly Christian. Jesus was so much about it, including he had dinner with the wrong people. He used the wrong people as the heroes of his parables. Someone after the service came up to me, longtime member here, and based upon that statement, she said, I had a friend who was a staunch Christian who said, nobody can hate like Christians. And if you think about this loving, inclusive presence that Jesus of Nazareth was and is, if we're going to walk in that lineage, don't we want to be like that? So my vision, that Unity of Houston becomes a welcoming island, that we become a safe space for people who maybe thought that there was no church where they fit. And so many times we hear this from people in our new member orientations. They're like, I was surprised that there's a church that believed what I've always believed. I didn't know that you guys existed. And that may be true for you, and you may not be sure yet. But what I want to offer to you is that if you will step into our circle a little more, be a little bit more open and available and vulnerable with us, that I'm setting the intention that we all make space to welcome you, that you belong here. And not only do you belong here, but you get to create that belonging for everyone else. Thank you. Just one life, that's all that we've been given here. Just one chance to make a difference where we live. I'm just one man, I'm only human, but only human means I've got a lot to give. Love can move the world as the moon in the sky moves the sea. Love can cause the wars to cease. Love can move this world to peace. It's a tide that begins with you and me. Love can move the world as the warmth of the sun moves the tree. Feel the wind of love increase as we move this world to peace. Come love the world with me. Look around, there's someone hurting near you. Look around, there must be something you can do. Look within you and find your spirit to change this world. There's got to be a change in you. Love can move the world as the moon in the sky moves the sea. Love can cause the wars to cease. Love can move this world to peace. It's a tide that begins with you and me. Love can move the world as the warmth of the sun moves the tree. Feel the wind of love increase as we move this world to peace. Come love the world with me. Oh, love can move the world as the moon in the sky moves the sea. Love can cause the wars to cease. Love can move this world to peace. It's a tide that begins with you and me. Oh, love, love, only love can move the world as the warmth of the sun moves the tree. Feel the wind of love increase as we move our world to peace. Come love the world with me.